Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the GallowgateShots podcast and YouTube channel. As you can see, it is myself, Chris, your host as always, and I am joined by a very special guest today. A guest which you probably won't recognize the face, but you will recognize some images which we're going to show on screen throughout this one. So I am joined by George, the man behind FloodlightsOn account on Instagram. How are you, George?
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Chris. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, usually behind the camera, not in front of it. So yeah, it's
Out
an
your
interesting
comfort
one
zone
today.
right now, aren't you?
Fully out of my comfort zone. I'm also usually a bit more pissed when I'm using the camera. So there you go. But yeah, good to be on and talk to you today.
So what we're going to do today, and we will only be going for around about 15, 20 minutes today, but we are going to be taking a look at some of the images which you've kindly supplied and talking about your book, which you've released, which obviously highlights a lot of the images which you've captured throughout the 2022-23 season.
Yeah.
But first of all, I want to get to know you a little bit first. Okay, so in relation to Newcastle United, we see a lot of these professional photos. And when I'm saying professional photos, I'm talking about the likes of sports photography.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll see what the club photographer does along with everything else. What was the concept behind what you do? And if people don't realize, explain what you do.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, I'm definitely not a professional. I picked this up as a bit of an amateur hobby. Really got interested in photography around lockdown time. I just went out and about with a film camera, which my friend had introduced me to not long before that. My first game that I took it to being Newcastle Man U at home. Remember the Matty Longstaff winner?
Yeah.
Ridiculous game that. But yeah, in terms of what I do now, I think just through that, I was super excited to get back through the turnstiles and just as a bit of a project for a bit of fun, just be taking pictures at games and just really showing anyone who couldn't make it to games, what our fan base is like and the pure passion and togetherness. And really, it's all just kind of, falling into the right place, right time. These sort of raw shots that I'm getting just kind of in the moment a lot of the time with like a bit of like a compact camera, like an old school film camera. So there's, not too much thought to it. And, it's that rawness in the moment. And yeah, it's just been something I've picked up on match days and have kind of just kept with and really enjoyed doing.
Is it something which you prepped for, or did you just chance it and think, I'll see what happens?
I guess it's a mix. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know what story is going to unfold on the pitch, especially with Newcastle. Being the roller coaster we've had over the last couple of decades. But I started going when we still had Bruce. So to that end, I thought I was about to take photos of an absolute shitstorm again. So
Tears.
I thought I was going to get tears and not Geordies losing their mind at games. So yeah, it's just been ever since that, really just been a bit of a trajectory. Obviously the takeover coming in October, it just goes without saying, really. It's just influenced the players on the pitch, and what it's brought to the fans has been mega. So I've just really just enjoyed documenting it and being a part of the ride. I guess it was never foreseen where we would be. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're in the position we're in now. But
have you been shocked by the feedback which you received? Because the accounts, especially the Instagram accounts, gone through the roof, hasn't it?
I never saw this coming, mate, to be honest. I as I said, did it for a bit of fun. I wanted to create the Instagram account to not piss off my normal set of mates. I've got my personal Instagram, so I thought I'll just do an account to keep my sort of football photography separate. And never saw it turning into what it has now. And just been really overwhelmed and really appreciate the support that everyone fires my way through my photos. And the entertained is just something that I thought would be really cool to pull together. I'd never really planned that again, but just to have something for everyone to look back on that was a part of that amazing season in one way or another, at home or at their games. And
I think it's been such a breakthrough season for not just the club itself, but I think if you look from the outside in, some of the talent which Newcastle United fans have is ridiculous. And you look on social media and you see, obviously, the account which you have, obviously you've got other podcasts out there as well, of fans providing content, but then you've got the lads and lasses at Waxer as well, which are creating some unbelievable videos. Those videos have came cemented into match day routine now, where one of those videos released.
That's it.
And obviously on the back of that, you've got what everybody at War Flags does to help prep them with the game. Then you've got everything on field and the turnaround from the club as well. It's just such an amazing time to be a Newcastle United fan. And like you said, under the previous management, your aspects and what you were hoping to get from this could have been a lot different.
It could have been an absolute shitstorm, as I said. But yeah, no, absolutely. The likes of Waxer, who, like, you know, it's great to be in touch with him, and he's been extremely supportive with this book. You've got, you know, a lot of fantastic illustrators and designers. It's Jamie who does a lot of the stuff, I think, for like programs and stuff for United. But yeah, there's just, I think, just a real buzz around the club, and a lot, you know, I guess a lot to just enjoy and continue to just enjoy what we're doing, just buzzing at it, exactly that. But yeah, it's been good fun.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go through a couple of the photos which you've sent in there, just obviously to highlight it. If people don't know, like I said at the very start, there has been a book created.
It could be a doorstop as well if you want
there
it to
be.
be.
I'll try and not get the flash on the screen. There we go. And it's obviously full of shots which have been created over. It's just one season, isn't it?
Just one season. I've got, you know, photos that's the back date before, but it's just the one season where I've been to, I guess, a lot more games. And for every game that I went to, and there was a section just on that sort of Wembley weekend as well. Being at Trafalgar Square, where I was just inhaling copious amounts of pyro. That set me back that week at work. That was me for the week. I think I was bedridden after that. But just so many sort of great moments. You know, I would have loved to have been at every game, but that's, you know, and hats off to the lads who do that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I think the difference is, though, if you had to be in every game, that then a lot of these shots will just become the norm. It's be the same faces which you're seeing throughout. And
that's it. Yeah.
On away days.
Yeah.
It is obviously the same lads and group of lads and lasses that go together.
That's it.
In the same group.
Start to recognize everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's go through a couple of the photos. And
sure.
First up, obviously, we'll put it on screen for those watching as well. Is, let's have a look. We are going to go to the Fulham away one first of all. And it's a few of the lads celebrating on the pitch, and you can see them in the distance.
Yeah.
But obviously, you've got the fans at the front of that one. In regards to away games and what you do, is there a different buzz to like the home?
It's a much different buzz. I think there's less camera shake. You know, if a goal goes in, obviously the likes of the Craven Cottage, it's hard to compose yourself. But I'm also trying to be in the moment and enjoy the goals at the same time. So it's we can get to that. So has become a bit of a weird dynamic with that. But yeah, it's a different, absolutely a different experience and a different atmosphere, as you know, from going to home games and away games. But I think the beauty at home is the pre-match build-up with War Flags, of course, and anything beyond that, it's, you know, it's hard to take a bad photo at St James's Park. It's just, I mean, bias here, but you know, it's absolute beauty. So
especially with the displays which War Flags are putting
that's it, man.
Pre-kickoff, you can't go wrong.
But for me, and that was one of the things I wanted to do with this book, was to contribute to what they're doing going forward. The work they put in, you know, pre-Villa, they're working through the night. It's ridiculous what they do. But yeah, this game in particular, my favorite part of it is top right, 4-0, I think at the time. But yeah, these moments, I think it was sort of like October time, where we were just on fire, and it was just the Miggy train, and just
the Miggy show at that
the
point,
Miggy show. It was a really fun period of a lot of memorable days out. The Spurs away game as well around that time. But yeah, these sort of shots, it's hard to compose yourself. I found myself jumping on the seat to get a better shot, so no one's grabbing me, and because, you know, everyone's your friend when you're at an away game. You're hugging a stranger. So yeah, but
so because you mentioned it there, it's hard. Well, it's important for you to as a fan to
Yeah.
stay in that moment as well. When obviously the emotions which go through your body when you one of the lads score a goal. How hard is it for you to then flip your brain and think, actually, I can get a shot out of this?
That's it. It's like there's like seconds where it's like, right, I'm enjoying it as a fan, and then I'm like, shit, okay, that's a cracking shot where he's done a knee slide into the corner flag or something. But there was a moment at Leeds away where I was actually kind of glad with what happened. I'd gone to take a shot, and a chap had knocked the camera, and with film, sometimes that can take the film out of its place, and it will reset and rewind. So I'd lost the rest of the film, but what it meant was I was able to enjoy that last 15 minutes without kind of thinking. I was like, okay, maybe next season I will take a bit of a step back with it, just in terms of kind of the relentlessness, I guess, of the shots. But that's the thing with film as well. You have to be really selective, and you only get 36 per roll, and so that's an element I enjoy, is that kind of focus on that subject or whatever. But it's all just been fun, and
obviously you won't know what sort of photo you've captured until afterwards.
That's it. Yeah. I mean,
so it's just as shock as you as well when you get them back.
That's it. That's the excitement around it, and what I love, I think, more than digital. You know, with digital you can fire away, 50 shots to get the right one, whereas with film you're really sort of thinking about the scene. And it's although with mine I'm trying to get them out as quick as I can, so I'm fortunate to have a cracking studio that I send it to, a development studio that gets it back in pretty good time, and such as social media, trying to be in the moment. But with film it makes it that extra like challenge. But
next up, we're going to quickly jump across to Spurs at home, and that was probably game of the season for most fans, myself included. Unbelievable game. That what was it? 15 minutes of absolute madness. At one point, and the reason why I've highlighted this one is it's showing you likes of the old school fan base, because it's a home crowd on this one, whereas the away fans, you do get a lot of the younger fan base going to these ones at this moment in time. But I think the thing I love about that, like I said, it's just the generational fan base in this, and they're just as buzzing as everybody else.
That's it. That just shows like who and how everyone had been starved, for some time of these kind of moments. Saturn East stand, I think, where you do get quite a lot of the senior fans. Again, just to, I think that one in particular, I think it was kind of captures those sort of early 15-20 minutes quite well, in the sense that everyone's looking around each other like, what the hell is going on here? Like, and this is something exactly. So like anyone next to you, you're grabbing and hugging at this stage. And it was such a well, for me, I was bricking it going into that game. It was such a big moment of our Champions League chase, and for it to happen the way it did, it was just unbelievable.
No, it was absolutely great. And like I said, it's just to see every single sort of age bracket as well enjoy that moment as well. And it's a few older gentlemen in that photo.
That's it.
And they're absolutely loving it.
Didn't have a heart attack. That's the good thing. Yeah.
They're loving it. I think Lloris had a heart attack in that game.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Next up, we're going to jump straight across to the Leicester game. And the reason why I've chosen this one is because it highlights war flags and what war flags do. Obviously, you've got the single flag waving at the forefront of the photo, but then in the background, you've got the Leazer's End, where they had done the old school crest with like a wave which went into the east stand, and it followed into the Gallowgate end as well. And I think that was probably my favorite display from war flags. And the shot which you've taken there is perfect, and it summarizes perfectly, doesn't it?
The only limitation with the camera I use, it's not got a wide enough lens to have captured that whole display. I guess a bit like waiting for film to come back from the lab. I'm waiting every week, and I'm sure yourself is as well, just for what the display is going to be next. It's they're setting the bar higher and higher with what they're doing, and those Champions League nights, it's going to be special. And that it's just how it really kind of amps up the team and the players. And I've said this a few times to people recently, but for me have directly impacted those points on the pitch. You know, the way they get everyone in, you know, really, really amps up the team, the fans. You know, there's probably results last season before that, and the years before where we probably wouldn't have got those 3 points if it wasn't for what that atmosphere had kind of instilled in everyone in the ground. So yeah, they're fantastic.
It's Wolf Flags generating that atmosphere from the get go. That's what it is. As soon as you're walking in that ground and you realize there is going to be the likes of some sort of display, and like you said, each time they knock it out of the park, and they make themselves just honestly, and I've seen firsthand what Wolf Flags do. I've helped with a couple of displays beforehand, and I don't think people appreciate the work that they do beforehand.
Yeah.
And it's weeks beforehand as well.
Yeah. It's not just the night before. Absolutely. Yeah.
Working through the night in freezing cold temperatures as well, with gale force wind as well. Known for fighting well. Every bit of foil that they put on a seat's getting thrown out of St. James's Park, and they're going to have to do it all again the next day.
It's ridiculous. But it's ridiculous. And it's not just the women's, it's not just the men's team, it's the women's and the basketball team nowadays as well. So
it's everything black and white.
And they've all got their exactly they've all got their 9 to 5s, and that makes it even the more impressive, and it's all voluntary, so it's incredible.
I'm going to end it on the next two, and we'll show them side by side on the screen. And the reason why I've chosen these two to go through is because it takes things off field a little bit, and it's not just obviously Newcastle United in regards to a football club, but it shows you behind the scenes in regards to the fans heading to a game, and this one's Chelsea away. And it's the Geordie Armada. It's all the lads and lasses on the boats across the Thames heading to Chelsea away. Explain that first photo.
Which
so
with the Captain Stoney, obviously getting the badge in. I love these kind of moments where I'm almost welcome to take the picture. These boys are pissed up. They're more than happy to accept it on the day. But that was for me just a moment that captured the day well in terms of the spirit. You know, it was just a fun-filled day where I think in part because we'd qualified already for the Champions League, this was that kind of wrap party, and everyone had dressed to the nines, you know, in their sailors gear and pirate hats and all sorts. So that was a fun one to see come back for sure. And then otherwise, just I think it was over 1,000 Geordies overall on the Thames. As you said, the Armada, you know what? It's now we've just got to beat that next time. And I think the last game of the season, this one is in London. Is it Brent? It might be Brentford,
possibly.
But so it's game on again, really. But that was a cracking day out. Sun shining, you know, drinks flowing for everyone involved, and as I said, it was just like an end of season wrap party, and a lovely way to kind of finish and have a bit of a breather as well, because that season I think it's taken it out of everyone, and we're ready to go again with the game this weekend. It's a fun day out.
So what's next for the account?
What's next? I think, as I say, just enjoying the ride like anyone else, just supporting Newcastle at the moment. I'm not sure where it takes me. I'm just enjoying taking the photos, and perhaps what's next could be a second book, I guess, if everything plays out. But it's been a really, really fun thing to pull together. A real challenge. Like I'd never made anything like this in my past. Just purely had fun with it. It was a fun little personal project, and excited to get it out to everyone, which I think the plan really is to distribute it around September time. So the last date you can buy a book, as I've done this like pre-sale window, is the 17th of August. And then beyond that will be the print and production. There's a few things to sort of sort out here and there with that and get it just right. But it's all in line to be fulfilled and distributed in September. Some of the best things about it is I've had people reaching out where they've seen, you know, photos through the season, and they're asking, am I in the book? And I'm like, you have to find out. But obviously that emoji face, but I love that is when someone reaches out saying that's me or that's my uncle. The lad on my t-shirt, again, I made this for a bit of a laugh, but his missus commented on a post I shared of this saying that's my fella. But it's just class the sort of spread it's had, and yeah, I'm just going to continue to have fun with it. That's all I'll say.
So let people know how they can get the book.
That helps, I guess. Yeah. So you can go to floodlightson.com to pre-order until Thursday the 17th. So it'd be days really to get it now, but yeah, that's ultimately how
And
to
like
get
you
it.
said as well, it's £5 of every
That's
purchase
it.
goes
Yeah.
directly to War Flags as
Yeah.
well, to help them with future projects as well, which is more reason to go out and buy it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
What we will do, we will put the description. We will put the website in the description as well. Obviously a link to go and buy it and purchase it on that pre-order sale as well, and also a link to the Instagram account as well. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Pleasure, Chris. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.